Yo, what's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing another one of the 40K box opening or like showcases, I guess. Uh, Today is the second in the list, which is what is it called? The Ruinous Power, which is the Chaos deck. Um, it's full of a bunch of cool cards. Two cool probably like four cool commanders actually. Now that I think about it. But before we get into it, kind of just ask you guys to go down and hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and comment what like what cards you would add to the deck, or if you're picking up any of the 40k decks. And don't forget to subscribe. But let's get right into it, guys. Alright, guys, this is the Warhammer 40k Universes Beyond the Ruinous Powers Commander deck. The back of it says, "The forces of chaos beyond the boundaries of real space. The Chaos Gods wreak havoc across the galaxy. They wage war with their armies of corrupted and mutated space marines, cultists, twisted war engines, the hordes of demons. Hordes of demons. The galaxy is just a plaything in a war between the Chaos Gods." Pretty sure that was a little too close to the thing, but it's whatever. The deck, or the product also comes with a deck box that has the color scheme, Abaddon the Despoiler, and the little chaos symbol, as well as the Magic the Gathering symbol. Comes with a spin down, life counter. One side it has Abaddon on it, the other side is supposed to be blank with the magic symbol. One side has 40 to 21, the other one has 20 to 0, or 20 to 1 specifically, I believe. Yeah, 1. And then it also comes with your token cards. We have Plague Bearers of Nurgle, we have Blue Horrors, Spawns, Red Spawns specifically. And then on the other side we have Astartes Warriors, more Blue Horrors and Spawns, as well as different formats to play, and the phases of the game. So that is everything that comes in there besides the deck. We'll go over the commander itself. The face commander, which would be Abaddon the Despoiler. He is a 5/5 for 5 with Trample. Says Mark of Chaos Ascendant. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponents have lost this turn. So the deck also comes with a normal version and then this cardboard. I forgot this etched foil is what it's called, I think. So he mainly focuses around hitting people hard before you start casting stuff in your hand. That way, all the spells in your hand have Cascade. We'll go into the creatures next. Take the lands out. That's the last thing we'll go into. Go into creatures. To start, we have the alternate commander, which is Bellicor the Dark Master. Has flying, a 6/5 for 6. When he enters the battlefield, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of demons you control. And then he has Lord of Torment. Whenever another demon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So he is a demon tribal commander. Problem with him is that he is in blue. There's not too many demons in blue. Just put him off in my hand. Then we have Magnus the Red, a Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, Pink Horror, Mutalith Vortex Beast, Lucius the Eternal, Zangor Shaman, Dark Apostle, Chaos Terminator Lord, Heralds of Tzeentch, Sloppity Bilepiper, a Mortarion Demon Primarch, Tallyman of Nurgle, Poxwalkers, Blood Crusher of Khorne, Seeker of Slanesh, Noise Marine, Aspiring Champion, Keeper of Secrets, Great Unclean One, Herald of Slanesh, Bloodthirster, Karn the Betrayer, Lord of Change, Blake Drone, a Night Rampager, a Hellbrute, a Venom Crawler, and a Chaos Defiler. Then for the artifacts, we have Drachmien, which is Abaddon's Blade. We have a Talisman of Indulgence, a Wayfarer's Bauble, a Worn Power Stone, a Talisman of Creativity, a Talisman of Dominance, an Assault Suit, a Commander's Sphere, a Chromatic Lantern, and a Soul Ring. For the enchantments, we have the Horus Heresy, Warstorm Surge, the Lost and the Damned, Nurgle's Rot, and the Ruinous Powers. And then for our instance, we have Nurgle's Conscription, Reverberate, Kill, Maim, Burn, Bituminous Blast, I assume that's how it's pronounced, Bile Blight, Brainstorm, Blood for the Blood God, Chaos Mutation, Chaos Warp, Dark Ritual, Mandate of Abaddon, Blasphemous Act, Light Grenade, Decree of Pain, Deny Reality, Past in Flames, then Let the Galaxy Burn. For the lands, you have a Terramorphic Expanse, an Evolving Wilds, a Temple of the False God, a Forgotten Cave, Barren Moor, Exotic Orchard, Crumbling Necropolis, Path of Ancestry, Command Tower, Sunken Hollow, Molten Slag Heap, Dismal Backwater, Foreboding Ruins, Swiftwater Cliffs, and then a slew of mountains, swamps, and islands. Overall, the deck is pretty cohesive. I'm going to pick out 5 cards. We'll get to that part, and I'll show them off, which ones I like and the reasons why I like them. And then we'll just hop into that portion of it. Alright, it took me a little bit to find the 5 I like the most, but at the end I picked 2 creatures, an enchantment, and then an instant sorcery. Didn't really pick an artifact. Most of the artifacts are just good reprints, but I picked 5 unique cards from the deck, and we're going to go over them. To start, we have our first creature. We have Magnus the Red, a 4/5 for 5. He is a legendary creature, Demon Primarch, has flying. Says unearthly power, instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature token you control. And then the Blade of Magnus, whenever he deals damage, combat damage specifically, to a player, create a 3/3 red spawn creature token. Very good token swarm commander, as well as good for spell slinging, being in red and blue. Red will generate you a bunch of goblin bunch of goblin tokens. Blue can handle some other fun little bits of spell sling damage. And then he creates tokens himself. Blue can also duplicate him specifically, like make copies of him that are non-legendary, to speed up the process, making all of your X spells cost 1 less for each of your tokens. He's a very cool commander. I kind of want to build him at some point, but that's neither here nor there. The second commander is Mortarion, a Demon Primarch. He is a Demon Primarch, has flying. He's a 5/6 for 6. Has Primarch of the Death Guard. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do, create X 2/2 Black Astartes warrior creature tokens with menace. X can't be greater than the amount of life you lost this turn. So, a nice way to, like, mono black is all about using your own life total as a resource. We've seen plenty of examples of that with, like, Citadel Bolas and stuff like that. So, he's very good at creating a bunch of tokens. He is also a token swarm commander. Find a way to give your creatures lifelink, like your other creatures on the battlefield lifelink. Him with flying. Flying is not difficult to block, but not everybody's prepared for it. Makes it pretty easy to get that damage in with him. Give him lifelink, be very nice. Menace also makes it harder for people to block your tokens when they do come into the battlefield. I think he's an A+ commander. For our enchantment, I chose the Horus Heresy. It's very divisive amongst people. Divisive. His 6 mana says as this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after the 3rd lore counter. For the first one, it says for each opponent gain control up to 1 target non-legendary creature that player controls, for as long as it enters or remains on the battlefield. And then on turn 2, draw a card for each creature you control but don't own. So in blue, it's pretty simple to grab other people's stuff. But with this, at minimum, you're going to be drawing 4 cards on your second turn. That's up. Very nice. And then on the 3rd turn, starting with you, each player chooses a creature. Destroy each creature token, or each creature chosen this way. Pretty nice. The biggest glaring issue with this is that they're just going to choose your creatures and gain control of theirs back, because once this hits its third turn on the field, it will poof, gone. So you want to find a way, which is not hard in black and red, to sacrifice their creatures beforehand. They're probably still going to choose your creatures based on the advantage you're getting off of this, but you don't want them getting their creatures back. So that's the enchantment I chose. For the instant, I chose probably the most popular card in this deck for people is Blood for the Blood God. It is 8 colorless, a black, red. Instant says the spell casts 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. And it says discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile Blood for the Blood God. So at instant speed, it's very much incentivized to use this when a board wipe happens. That way you can get as much value off of it as possible. 3 mana to draw 8 cards is amazing, as well as dealing damage to your opponent. It's just a good blowout card. And then the final card is Let the Galaxy Burn. X, 5 colorless, and a red, has Cascade, and says Let the Galaxy Burn deals X damage +2 to each creature that didn't enter the battlefield this turn. So essentially a board wipe, but it also has Cascade. When you cast a spell, exile from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exiled cards on the bottom of your library in a random order, so a good way to get a blowout card after board wiping. Unfortunately, it does affect your own board, but most board wipes do. So we're gonna go into my closing thoughts on the deck. But yeah, let's get into it. So guys, overall, I think this is like a good precon. For how much they are going for right now, though, I'm pretty sure when I last checked, the Ruinous power was, I don't know, like 60, 70 bucks sealed. So it's up to you guys if you buy these commander decks. Yeah, it's about like $65-ish for the Ruinous power specifically. I think that the Tyranid one we did last week is probably closer to its retail value, if not at its retail value for a normal version of the deck if you can find one. But it is a little bit more steep of a commander product. Commander decks notoriously were 40 about 3 years ago. Slowly have climbed 50. These ones are climbing because of the type of product that they are. So if you want one of these commander decks, I highly recommend that you do your research on which one you want first, because they can be a bit pricey. And then look into maybe like an upgrade guide and stuff like that, and what you would take out to make it run a little bit better. So like I know that, what is it? What are they called? The Command Zone. They did guides on all 4 of the decks, all 4 of them, basically going over the 10 cards they get rid of and the 10 cards that they would add to make them run a little bit better, and maybe like hone in on a specific mechanic in the deck. So I highly, they're long videos. They're really well made though. So they're a good resource to see. You can always go on EDA Track or Tapped Out and stuff like that, see how people are running their deck. Those ones are a little bit weird though, because people are going to fill in mana bases, change a bunch of stuff. But for like a budget guide, the Command Zone did really good videos on them. But yeah, I like the deck. Cool box art as well. Love Warhammer. If you can afford it, don't break your bank, but if you can, I recommend pick them up. They're very fun. And yeah. So if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button down below to know when my videos go live, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.